Tonight on UCentral News.
We are currently tracking Category 4 Hurricane Helene. How is this going to affect Oklahoma? I'll have your full weather updates later in the show.
And in social media, America's Got Talent has a new champion. Maureen Dirk will tell you who later on. And in sports, where does UCO stand in the MIAA conference? Luke Underwood will have all that and more in this Wednesday edition of UCentral News.
Live from Central Oklahoma, this is UCentral News.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ian Nickel.
And I'm Lauren Jackson. Welcome to this edition of UCentral News.
Starting off tonight, Hurricane Helene is growing in the Caribbean Sea, causing residents to evacuate, schools to close, and officials in Florida declaring states of emergencies.
The storm is so large that states further inland, such as Tennessee and Kentucky, could see rainfall. Our weather reporter Gwyneth Duncan is here with us at the desk to talk more about it. Could we be seeing rainfall in Oklahoma?
No, we're really not going to see any of those tropical storms move further enough north to us because we kind of had a high pressure system move over into our state. So we're really not going to see that. But as we do look at our radar, we're going to see high winds as that reaches the coast tomorrow night at 7 p.m. We're looking at 120 mile per hour winds. Now, the National Weather Service does have a hurricane warning, but they keep pushing it further inland because of how strong this storm keeps getting. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Gwyneth. And if you experienced any hail damage from last night, don't panic. Make sure to contact your insurance provider with photos of the damage, and then you'll be able to be patient as mass damage claims can slow down the process.
Viewers of UCentral have turned in their photos and videos of the damage. Those photos are pretty extreme, wouldn't you say, Ann?
It's absolutely insane how much it is. And we'll go over to Gwyneth now. You mentioned it earlier, no rain from the hurricane at all.
Gwyneth will have our first look at weather after the break.
I don't think we're going to break just yet.
Yes, and looking across the state right now, we have 3 high-pressure fronts. It moved over these past couple of days. That's bringing us north wind coming, and it's kind of going to be really dry. Like I said, just down in the southeast part of the United States, we're seeing tropical storms, but we're really not going to see that in Oklahoma. As we look at our fog, we did have some morning fog out today. That kind of brought us some moisture throughout the day. Our morning fog, we got some pictures from one of our reporters, Isabel Contreras, moving down Broadway. You can kind of see the fog's pretty extreme. And then we got another photo from South Edmond. You can kind of see the fog just laying there. It's looking pretty spooky, and it's starting to look like fall out there. As we look at our current conditions, we're looking at 81 degrees, mostly sunny. It's pretty bright out there. It's starting to feel more like summer, and I promise I didn't lie. Those fall temperatures are going to stick around, but we do have those winds coming from the northwest. That's what's making the humidity be further lower because it's kind of dry air that's coming. We're looking at 14 miles per hour with pretty high gusts coming in at 21 miles per hour. Looking at our humidity, it's at 39%, so not too bad compared to these past couple of days. And our UV right now currently is 6, so it does feel kind of hot out there because of that. As we look at our allergy index, our ragweed is going to be pretty high. I know I've definitely felt it, and I know you've felt it too. Like I said, as we move further into the fall season, it's just going to keep getting worse. And as we look ahead, we have 80 degrees and sunny these next couple of days. Those 80-degree temperatures are going to stick along, but we do have those winds bringing dry air, but that fog's kind of keeping us at a nice balance because in the mornings it's pretty moist. We have fog all across the grounds, and then those winds kind of push that out further in the day. And I'll have your full weather forecast and much later in the show. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Gwyneth. UCO students and professors are being recognized for a photography exhibit in downtown Edmond. I went out to talk to Professor Jesse Miller about the project. 2 UCO College of Liberal Arts faculty are collaborating on an ongoing photography exposition titled The Unnamed OKC Homelessness Project, currently on display at the downtown Oklahoma City Metropolitan Library.
Dr. Jones approached me and said that he wanted to do a photography project dealing with people experiencing homelessness. He had been working with the Homeless Alliance and knew that we had access to people that were maybe good participants in this project. And so he was able to get a bunch of disposable cameras, and we were able to hand them out to people and let them document their experiences, their struggles, the barriers that were put in front of them.
The two professors plan to continue this collaboration in the future and look forward to showing more of these photos in different galleries across the region.
A lot of things, of course, we couldn't use, or maybe it was just in bad lighting, but a lot of really great stuff, more than we could do in one exhibit. And that's why this is kind of a curated set of images, and then hopefully we'll be showing the photos elsewhere, and we'll have a different set of photos.
Admission to the public is free, and the gallery will be open until Friday, September 28th.
A poll conducted by CNN shows that both presidential candidates negatively impacted the perceptions of their parties during the 2024 race. In a survey that oversampled voters under the age of 35, respondents said they felt worse about the Republican Party because of Donald Trump 50% of the time. 25% of respondents felt better about the Republican Party, and 25% of respondents felt their opinions had not been affected. When asked about Kamala Harris, respondents said they felt worse about the Democratic Party 40% of the time. 27% had their opinion of the party improve, and 33% said that the vice president had no impact on how they felt about the Democratic Party.
The Department of Justice has filed an antitrust lawsuit against Visa. In a press conference yesterday, Attorney General Merrick Garland said that the company's monopoly of the market creates problems for both consumers and competitors.
We allege that to maintain this monopoly power, Visa deploys a web of unlawful anti-competitive agreements to penalize merchants and banks for using competing payment networks. At the same time, it coerces would-be market entrants into unlawful agreements not to compete by threatening high fees if they do not cooperate and promising big payoffs if they do.
This case is similar to the Ticketmaster lawsuit from May, where the DOJ alleged that the company allegedly monopolized the concert ticket industry.
Appalachia Schools is back in session, and some parents and students are skeptical on returning. Here's what they had to say.
The line of school buses and cars formed just before 12:30 at Appalachia High School as students finished a half day to return to the classroom for the first time in nearly 3 weeks.
I was a little worried, and I cried a lot over there when I went to pick her up.
Marilda Griffith's daughter, Natalie, was shot on September 4th and taken to the hospital. Today, she says she was eager to return to some semblance of normal.
There were a lot of dogs. There was Great Danes, Golden Retrievers, Golden Doodles.
All to help the 15-year-old and her schoolmates feel comforted when they return to the building. The hallway where the shooting happened, she says, is also altered.
Like there's just a white wall with an Appalachia's A on it, so it's pretty much just looking at a blank wall.
With the first day now over, more safety measures are something Marilda Griffith says are top of mind.
Clear bags might be a good idea to some of the kids that you can see through, that they're not carrying a whole bunch of stuff.
And while the district has been helpful, she wants to see more precautions put in place to prevent another tragedy.
What else is first? Because if you're not going to be safe at your own school, what are you going to learn?
Coming up in weather, Gwyneth will have more on our latest forecast.
Rugged, rough, built for the road ahead. Sometimes I feel like a shell of a man. Commercials are fake. What you're feeling isn't. Call or text 988, Oklahoma's mental health lifeline.
The University of Central Oklahoma grows and thrives. We move forward, daily living the Bronco way, being reflective of our neighborhood, community, history, and Oklahoma. This is what has made us who we are. Oklahoma's Metropolitan University, the third largest university in Oklahoma. This is where movement is. This is the University of Central Oklahoma.
Thank you, and welcome back, Broncos. Looking at our current conditions outside, we're sitting at 81 degrees and mostly sunny. Those winds are pretty high, though. We're sitting at northwest winds with gusts as high as 21 miles per hour, so that wind is coming in pretty dry, which is keeping our humidity pretty low. We're sitting at 39%. Our UV is kind of up right now, and that is what is making it feel hot. Even though those northwest winds are moving in so high, it still feels hot because of that sun. Just being out there, that's enough to do it. And looking across the state right now, we're looking at low to mid 80s. We're looking at 80 degrees in OKC and 81 degrees in Ponca City. It's feeling pretty nice out there. It's not too bad. And as we move into tonight, though, it's going to feel a lot better. We're going to be at 56 degrees and foggy. So that fog from yesterday is going to carry into today. Our winds are going to be pretty low. We're going to be sitting at northeast 6 miles per hour. And then our humidity is going to go back up. And that's not going to make it feel too good tomorrow morning because of that fog mixed with that humidity. It's going to feel pretty muggy starting off the day tomorrow. But as we look across the state for tonight, we're looking at mid 50s to upper 50s, 55 degrees in OKC. It's going to feel wonderful. You're going to want to go outside tonight because it's going to feel pretty nice. As we move into tomorrow, starting off at 7 a.m., 56 degrees, humid and foggy. So that's a double whammy right there. It's not going to feel too good starting out the day. And then as we move into noon, though, those winds are going to push out that humidity. So it's not going to feel too bad. We're going to be sitting at 72 degrees at noon, which is pretty nice for us. It's pretty good. We were at triple digits a couple weeks ago, but now we're just going to be sitting at 72 degrees at noon. We can't really complain. Going into 7 p.m., we're going to be at 76 degrees and sunny. It's going to be sunny all day tomorrow. We're really not going to see much clouds in the sky. And then as we move across the state tomorrow, 79 degrees in OKC, we've got it easy, but the rest of the state may be upper 80s. It's not going to feel too nice, but it's not going to be as bad as it could be. As we look ahead, 80 degrees these next couple of days, and that dry air that's coming from the north is kind of combating with the fog we're getting in the morning. So it's kind of going to be humid starting off our days and then dry going into the later evenings of our days. As we look at our 7-day, 80 degrees all across the board. It's looking amazing, and it is definitely feeling amazing. Our UV isn't making it feel so amazing, though, but that's all I have for you guys right now. How do you guys feel about these nice foggy mornings? Because it just reminds me of Halloween, and I just love it.
Personally, I love the foggy mornings, but the only problem with that is driving in the mornings. I find it so difficult to drive in that heavy fog.
Yeah, it's like a game of Mario Kart. You're just like trying to just fight for the road.
Yeah, you can only see about 20 feet in front of you.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely crazy. I usually sleep in, so I don't see the fog at all by the time I wake up.
After the break, what comedian and politician are going at it?
Also, what two celebrities are related? Maureen Dirk will have all those answers after the break.
Happy birthday! Make a wish.
Miss you guys.
Blue skies smiling at me, talking about blue skies. Do I see bluebirds singing a song, talking about blue skies from now on?
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Are you really sure this is all going to fit?
Oh, it'll fit. I got that.
All right. When hauling anything, ensure it's secure. Losing your load is dangerous for all drivers. We want everyone to make it home safe. Help make Oklahoma safe by securing your load.
Hello Broncos, I'm Marine Dirk and I'm here with your latest and greatest social media news. Miley Cyrus and Dolly Parton find out they are more than just a dynamic duo, but they are actually related. Thanks to Ancestry.com, Dolly found out that they are, in fact, 7th cousins. Dolly expresses she is not surprised as she jokes about there being so much in similar. Between the two, Dolly has been a mentor to Miley for years. As both artists respect and admire each other's careers, this iconic pair keeps getting closer and closer, especially now the fact that they are family. Jimmy Kimmel responded to Donald Trump's comment at one of his recent rallies, stating that Kimmel should just listen to his wife. Last night, in direct response to the comment, Kimmel brought his wife, Molly McCartney, onto his late-night show to share this message.
Support, and I'm glad I have your attention because 1 in 3 women currently in this country is living under an abortion ban because you stacked our Supreme Court. Thanks to you, women in 21 states can't make their own choice about their own life and their own body. And
although Trump and Jimmy have been going back and forth, Trump has yet to respond to last night's comments. Hit Netflix show Outer Banks just released their season 4 official trailer.
Here we are, back in the G game. Come on. How long were we really going to stay out of trouble?
He's been waiting. Let's get down to business.
Finally finding the gold, it looks like the group ran out of money, and in this season, they are taking on a whole new adventure. They are going to be back after Blackbeard's treasure. The show will premiere on the 8th in Charleston, South Carolina, and will be available on Netflix on October 10th. In addition, Outer Banks is taking on the 2-part pattern like other popular Netflix shows. Fans will have to wait for the second half of the season to drop on November 7th. With the twists and turns that Outer Banks has had in past seasons, this is definitely a show to have on your next watch list. America's Got Talent Season 19 winner was just announced. Singer Richard Goodall, whose vocals you just have to see to believe. At 55 years old, a middle school janitor who was swayed by his students to give America's Got Talent a chance, impressing viewers and judges with his amazing vocals to the song Journey, Don't Stop Believing. He received Heidi Klum's Golden Buzzer. As the season went on, he performed other classic hits and continued to gain momentum and confidence in himself. His final performance was a full circle moment as he again played Don't Stop Believing, this time with band members from Journey alongside him. Richard's future plans after the show are up in the air. However, he did say he would love to sing all over America if that's where this road leads. All in all, Richard is a living representation that you should never give up on your dreams. Ian and Lauren, I know this season of America's Got Talent was so heartfelt and so heartwarming. How did you guys feel about it?
I mean, what an underdog story from the 55-year-old janitor.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
I
Good for
agree.
him.
I love Heidi Klum, and that was just such a heartwarming moment.
I love Terry Crews in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so I bet he's
Yeah.
a hilarious host. Coming up, the MIAA football rankings are out.
And UCO soccer is kicking off strong. Luke Underwood will have more after the break.
I was raised to believe in the power of possibility, to always move forward but never forget where I came from, to value hard work, ingenuity, and hospitality. On one hand, my people are rough and rugged. On the other, refined and elegant. They taught me how to love beautiful things and cherish my past, to seek out adventure, eat well, and to have a good time. So I keep their traditions alive every place I go. They call me Oklahoma City, but you can call me the modern frontier.
UCentral News as a whole. You got to be in those different areas, like being on camera, being off camera, being in the control room. And so I feel like that is what prepared me most about being in the workplace.
UCentral and the mass comm department has provided me all the tools and the fundamentals that are needed in order to thrive well and thrive fast at my job.
Maybe it's time to hit the road and visit a place where stories unfold. This is the land of the ultimate road trip, with sights old and new on Route 66. There's fun to be had, so much to do, and a few new surprises before you get through. Oklahoma has the most miles to share of Route 66. It's really quite rare. TravelOK.com will show you the way. Come see for yourself this iconic highway.
The UCO football team has had an amazing start to the season. The Broncos are 3-0, which is the first time that has happened since 2014. In the MIAA standings, UCO are currently listed at number 2, only behind the 4-0 Emporia State Hornets. Also, besides Emporia State, the Broncos are the only team that is currently undefeated in the MIAA. The Broncos are coming back home this weekend to defend their home turf against the 3-1 Fort Hays State Tigers. The game will start at 7 p.m. In other news, the Lady Broncos soccer team will be heading to Topeka, Kansas on Friday to battle the Washburn Ichabods. The game will be at Yeager Stadium and will start at 6 p.m. Also on Sunday, they will be battling the Emporia State Hornets at the ESU pitch at 1 p.m. Over to the NFL, a few teams are standing out. After Week 3, there are currently 5 teams that are still undefeated. These 5 teams are the Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs, Minnesota Vikings, Pittsburgh Steelers, and Seattle Seahawks. Speaking of the Kansas City Chiefs, they have added a familiar name back to their 53-man roster. Former Chiefs running back Kareem Hunt has re-signed with the Chiefs after Isaiah Pacheco was put on injured reserve. The Chiefs and Hunt parted ways back in 2018. Hunt will be back in the Chiefs red and white with a new jersey number as he will be rocking number 29. You could see the Chiefs in action this Sunday at 3:25 p.m. against Los Angeles Chargers at SoFi Stadium. The Kansas City Chiefs are my favorite team. Lauren, Ian, what are your NFL teams?
Well, I'll go ahead and tell you, we're division rivals, buddy, because I'm a Denver Bronco fan, and hey, we won on Sunday. So, progress.
Preferably, I'm the Bears. That's always
Really?
been my NFL team, yes.
How are you feeling about Caleb Williams?
I don't really like to talk about the Bears, but I'll still root for them till the day I die. Today is National Lobster Days. How are you celebrating?
And Gwyneth Duncan will have our last look at weather when we come back.
Rugged, rough, built for the road ahead. Sometimes I feel like a shell of a man.
Commercials are fake. What you're feeling isn't. Call or text 988, Oklahoma's mental health lifeline.
The University of Central Oklahoma grows and thrives. We move forward, daily living the Bronco way, being reflective of our neighborhood, community, history, and Oklahoma. This is what has made us who we are, Oklahoma's Metropolitan University, the third largest university in Oklahoma. This is where movement is. This is the University of Central Oklahoma.
What's for dinner? How about some lobster to celebrate National Lobster Day? You could cook up some delicious lobster at home or maybe at your favorite seafood restaurant. The crustaceans live at the bottom of the ocean. Should they avoid a trap that would bring them to your dinner table, some lobsters can live up to 100 years old. They weren't always a delicacy, with lobsters very plentiful around the time European settlers reached North America. National Lobster Day started in 2014 when Maine Senators Angus King and Susan Collins drafted a joint resolution. Remember, you can share your lobster pictures on social media with the hashtag National Lobster Holiday.
Wow, lobsters, huh? I've never had a lobster, have you?
No, actually, I've never had a lobster either.
All right, we're going to Red Lobster. Let's toss it over to Gwyneth for weather.
Looking at our 7-day, Thursday is going to be 80 degrees tomorrow. Friday is going to be 80 degrees as well. We're mainly going to stick in the low 80s for these next couple of days. On Saturday, we do have a chance for some clouds to move in, but that won't come with any rain or anything exciting. Just a little bit of clouds to cover that sun. Maybe it'll feel a little better that day. Moving throughout the rest of the week, we are going to go down into the 70s on Tuesday, hitting 78. It's not too bad. And then as we look at tomorrow, starting off at 7 a.m., we're going to be at 56 degrees and foggy. As we move throughout the day, that fog and that mugginess of the morning is going to move out because of that dry air that we have from that high pressure system. And that's all I have for you guys for today's show. So back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Gwyneth. Astronomers have some knowledge that might change everything you think you know about black holes. Check out this black hole 7.5 billion light years from Earth. Those flares you see are massive jets of material shooting from both sides of it. Black holes have a reputation for being the garbage disposals of the universe, sucking up everything that comes near them. But a fraction of that material is actually ejected before an object falls in. That phenomenon isn't new to scientists. What surprised them is just how massive these jets can get. This pair is the diameter of 140 entire Milky Way galaxies and 23 million light years long. The research was published this month in the journal Nature.
A diamond necklace that was worn at 2 British coronations is expected to sell for up to $2.8 million at auction. The 18th century piece, weighing about 300 carats, was likely created a decade before the French Revolution. Auction house Sotheby's said Marjorie Paget, Marchioness of Anglesey, wore the necklace to the coronation of King George VI in 1937. Her daughter-in-law then wore the same necklace to the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II in 1953. It also is believed to have stones from the famous necklace at the heart of Marie Antoinette's scandal. Sotheby's said that the necklace is on public display for the first time in 50 years ahead of its auction debut in November 11th. The jewel is on exhibition at Sotheby's in London until Wednesday. Then it'll make a global tour before heading to Geneva, Switzerland for the Sotheby's Royal and Noble sale.
Wow, that's a lot of history in those diamonds.
Yeah, that is.
For sure. And that's all the time we have for today. For all of us here at UCentral, I'm Ian Nickel.
And I'm Lauren Jackson. Have a great night.